problem. We're having a conference this weekend where we're going over this type of thing. And so that's one of the things we do at the district level. Question?
Would you review the screening process for the families?
Okay, part of the new paperwork requirements, and this is very important, is that if you have a host family that would like to host, someone from your club, either youth exchange officer or somebody like that on the committee, would go to the home and make an initial evaluation, see if that family, in your opinion, would be suitable as a host family. Would you want your child to live there? Having done that, the next step is to have them fill out the host family application, which is a 6-page form now. And all these forms are available on the district website or the Youth Exchange website, which is www.rye6440.org, and the most current forms are there. So the host family fills that out, and they list 3 references. So your obligation is to take the application, contact the references. And one of the important things on the form itself, and I think it was mentioned in Dan's email, was that there's some problems or questions about confidentiality. On the form, we ask for the driver's license, social security number. And we do the social security number because we do a background check, a criminal background check on all host families. And this is one of the requirements from the United States State Department and from Rotary International. So if you've been in, bar brawls and, that kind of thing, you probably won't be a good host family candidate. But the background check's done by the district youth protection officer, who used to be Don Redmond. I think you probably all knew Don Redmond one time. And then Judy Hinnup is now the youth protection officer. She does the check. She keeps the records confidential. They are then sent to what's called the responsible officer at Central States, a man named Bob Hosh. And he is the contact point between Central States Rotary Youth Exchange and the United States State Department. They will only talk to him about all inbound students. So he's the focal point. If there are problems, he deals with them. And then he's tasked more or less to keep records for 5 years in each student. So the confidentiality of the information is very important to people in Rotary. It's kept confidential. It's not published. The background checks are things that I think Rotary was getting up to speed, as well as other organizations that deal with children, like Boy Scouts, all the schools. They do this type of thing. And the districts that don't do that or haven't got that in place are not certified by Rotary.
Bill, does everybody in the club need to go through that, or just the host families?
The host families must. The youth exchange officer or anybody that has authority over the student has to have a background check. To be certified by the district now, the president fills out a form and sends it in to the youth protection officer. And you'll be receiving this information probably at TEDS.
Bill, can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
Because I would tell you that was part of the reason Sunrise, we had an issue in Sunrise with a lot of people not wanting to. And part of the reason was basically what the rule said was anyone who had contact. And what we did in our club, if the student was available for a weekend and somebody was going to the ball game, they would take him to the ball game. And at that point, it was Don's position that anybody who was going to take the student for any reason had to have gone through this. Is that still the case?
I think what the feeling is that if you have a lot of unsupervised contact with a student, it would be a good idea to have a background check. In other words, if you're setting up a committee and you know that there are going to be certain people that are going to be doing things with a student all the time in an unsupervised manner, then certainly you might want to have that background check.
But we're talking one time.
One time, no. No, not at all. No. If you're taking a student, back to class, something like that, no. If you're having them for dinner, no. It's primarily, we don't want to put the students in a situation where they might be subject to harassment or abuse. And that's a whole different topic. I've got PowerPoints, I've got videos and DVDs that I could show you, but to explain, exactly what it is that we're looking at. But-
So who in the club, Bill, would have to get the background check?
Well-
I think, Terry, what you were saying is some of the club members didn't want to divulge their confidential
Right,
information.
right.
And that was,
Where would that
again,
go?
at the point.
I think
when
at
we
the
held our
beginning,
last one,
it was
that
unclear.
Everybody in the club, basically, because
Right.
again, every week, one of the club members, we're going up to Summerfest, we'll take Jakob. We're going to the ball game, we'll take Jakob. And it got to a point where,
Right.
again, Don believed that anybody who was going to take the student anyplace had to have this background check. And we got some of the club members objected, and so that was
Right.
partly the issue.